Hey guys, Hallie, we keep it dirty off-road. Welcome back to the channel, and in this video, we're gonna go over the plans for the Raptor. The things we're gonna upgrade, what we're gonna do, and in the order that we're gonna do it. Okay, now we're gonna start off with the front first.
We already discussed this. Lime green, 22-inch rims.
No.
We already discussed this.
We're not doing any of that. Come on, go. You got your own show.
Keep it clean on street. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Keep It Clean on Street. Today we're going to talk about feature upgrades for my...
Alright guys, Hallie, we keep it dirty off-road. Today we're going to talk about the plans for the truck. By this point you saw us do a comparison with the 17 Raptor, and you heard me talk a lot about there's a lot of lessons learned that we got from our 17 Raptor, and we're going to apply to the new one. So in this video, we're going to tell you guys all the plans that we're going to try to do for this truck. We may not get to them all, but here's the plan on how we're going to build this truck up for off-roading. I have my iPad here because there really is too much to list here, so you're going to see me going down on a lot of this and going through it. It's too much to go through. Let's go ahead and go through what we've done on it already. We actually already done our first mod, and that is getting rid of the crappy incandescent lights out here. If you've ever had the Raptors, they still use incandescent lights, so we did the LED upgrade. We have a video right here. We can show you guys on how to do it. Super easy mod. It really makes no sense that Ford hasn't done this yet. What the hell, Ford? I mean, they should be LEDs. Every other light on the truck is an LED. Why don't you guys include them? Second mod we already did is tint. And we actually changed it from our normal. Normally, I do 20% in the back, and I do about 35% up front. But running the 17 Raptor, we ended up having problems at night where as soon as it got dark, we couldn't see out of the side of the trucks. And sometimes you need to be able to see out of the sides of your truck to see where the trail is going and all that stuff without having to put your windows down. We ended up going 50% in the front so we could see at night. We are going to suffer a little bit, so we are going to feel a little bit more heat, but I think it's worth it considering the benefits of being able to see at night. We did 20% in the back and on the sunroof because the sunroof has no tint on it and we want to get some extra protection up there. And we've already installed our custom base there that we did. We're eventually going to replace that with something else, but we'll talk about this here in a little bit. As far as the suspension, I think this is probably the question I get asked the most. What are we going to do suspension-wise? Well, we got a lot of plans for this bad boy. First off, we're going to start off with the bumps at the back. We need to protect the back end because those stuck bump stops aren't going to protect shit. We bent our frame before. We don't want to do that again. So first mod, suspension-wise, bump stops.
Bump stop!
RPG's kit is what we're going to be installing. If you want to see how to install it, we're going to link the video up here.
Bump stop! RGB stage 2 bump stop kit!
So out back, we're going to reuse a lot of the parts we already had. So we're going to do RPG's RST18 kit with the bed cage in the back. We're going to do the Devers X HD that Devers made for us, +4 in the back. We're going to do the new RPG Off-Road Billet drop shackles. But we're not going to install these right away. Yeah, you heard that right. We're not going to install everything we had on the back end right away. The only thing we're going to do right off the bat is the bump stops because we need that extra protection. But the Devers, the shocks, the cage, we're not going to do right off the bat until we can afford the front. There's a reason why. After we fixed the Devers, because our Devers were a little overarched, we had overarched them a few times because we installed them before we had a bump stop kit. They were way too soft and, you know, they weren't working right. Once we got them re-arched and added some extra leaves, the back end was way too stiff for the front end. The front end was a little too spongy. Every time we hit a bump, it would handle the bumps just fine, but it would also rebound too much. You know, and to kind of explain that is if you've ever seen the lowriders in the jumping competitions where they're jumping back and forth, that's kind of the way my front end felt. And there's no way to tune that out on the front end when your back end is so stiff. You got to have a balanced suspension, right? The front end's got to match the back end. And we didn't have that. We had the back end dialed up to 10 with the front end dialed up to 5 or 6. So it wasn't a matching suspension. I was running faster. I could take more hits better. The front suspension could work better, but it didn't feel right. And at the end of the day, it made me hesitate a lot of the times in going faster. So I want to balance the suspension. So we're not going to do the back until we can afford to do the RPG's front bolt kit up at the front. In the meantime, We are going to do the caster camber locks up at the front. Otherwise, we're going to have to keep dealing with suspension alignment issues. This happens a lot with a lot of these stock Raptors. They don't have caster camber locks. They make kits, relatively inexpensive kits. They cost about $100 to do both sides. Well worth the upgrade. If you haven't done it before, I highly recommend you do it. So I have it linked on my Amazon influencers page. We're going to get that kit on here right away. In the meantime, while we wait to save up for the front suspension. But once we do the front suspension, we're going to do RPG's bolt kit. We're going to do the dual shocks. We're going to reuse the factory series shock that we already had from the 17, and we're going to add that second triple bypass shock to help control the rebound and give us a little bit softer ride up front. We're going to do the RCV axles because I want to do it right. I don't want to just do some crappy welded axles. And we're going to do the RPG upgraded tie rods. Now that kind of goes into the next upgrade, which with the bolt kit means new glass. We are going to be upgrading the stock glass and going with advanced fiberglass plus 2 fenders so that we can clear the tires going up and down with the new bolt kit. We are going to do the fender liners as well because I want to protect everything on the inside. And we're going to do everything based on clearing 37s. We're not going to do 37s right off the bat because we had way too much rubbing before, but we are going to set it up and plan everything as if we were going to put 37s on there. We do need to look at getting new wheels for the truck. The stock bead lock offset is such that it won't clear your typical bolt kit. So we do need to look at getting new wheels. We're not sure what we're going to get yet. We know we're going to stick with 17s with the stock bolt pattern, which is 6x135. But we need to get a 0 offset in order to clear the new suspension components we're going to be putting in. Now, as far as what we're going to get, we need something strong. We bent 3 stock forged bead lock wheels. It takes a lot of force to bend those. I'm not a fan of the new wheels because the way the spokes stick out, these are going to get damaged. So I'm not going to be spending too much money on reusing these wheels because of that. These things are going to take a lot of damage off-road because of the way the spokes stick out. So we need to get a new set, 0 offset, and something strong that can deal with my dumbass on the trails. Now, we're also going to take care of a couple of other things up here. First and foremost, we're going to do lower control arm reinforcement. And there's a couple options on how to do that, but the one that I want to do is the Crazy House Customs lower control arm reinforcement. The reason why we're doing that is because they take care of not only the reinforcing the actual plates that connect to the actual lower control arms, they take care of the gap in between both sides of the truck so you don't have this little section that's hanging down, and they actually add some reinforcement towards the back. Now, it's an expensive kit. It's about $750, so that's something that we're going to save up for, but it's totally worth it because I've taken more damage to those lower control arm mounts than anything else. I curled them on a couple of jumps with the stock suspension on my last truck. Most of the damage taken in the last accident was because there was no reinforcement, so that whole area buckled and moved pretty radically. That's why my truck got totaled. And the kit also takes care of the standard stuff that every other kit does, right? Like deletes the slots while also adding all the reinforcement. The only drawback is it does require an adjustable arm up top because you have no more adjustment underneath. So you have to make sure that when you do it, you have the ability to do your alignment up top with the upper control arm. Up at the front, we're going to do our new headlights. You guys saw our last truck. We're going to do Alpha Rex LED headlights. So we're going to swap out the old headlights and put the new Alpha Rex LED headlights to give us better visibility. We're going to need that since we're not going to have all of our lights. Now, we also need to figure out a way to protect the sides. We don't have a plan here yet, but we are going to look at options to protect the sides because we got a lot of pinstriping on the last truck. Last truck was easy because it was a white truck, so it hid this pinstriping really well. The blue one's not going to be so good at hiding pinstripes. So not sure if we're just going to do a wrap, ceramic coating. We're going to look at options, but whatever we do, we're going to pay extra attention to the actual mirrors and the door handles. They were the ones that took the most damage while we're out there on the trails. So, for example, we may end up wrapping these and doing like 2-3 layers with the wrap just to keep them as protected as possible and do the same thing to the handles. We are going to look at options to add rock sliders onto the truck, but I want to try to figure out something custom. I really like the stock steps. I like the way they look. I like how strong they are. They protected the truck so many times on the last setup, but we bent them quite a bit of times. So I want to figure out a way or figure out somebody that's willing to do a rock slider set with me that kind of uses the stock steps as the look for it. I don't know. We'll have to figure something out. As far as the front, we're going to try to stay stock. We're not going to be doing too much changes to the engine. I really like the power that this thing provides stock. I don't really want to change it too much. But if somebody wants me to test their tunes out, we're willing to do it with a new truck as long as it's a decent tune from a reputable company. Now, we did run a Cobb tune on the last truck, and I'm not a fan of their tune. We're not going to be running it on the new truck. We had it on for a couple of months. It was really expensive, and initially it felt really great, right? We were getting better throttle response. The truck was just feeling much better. But after running it for a couple of weeks, the truck started getting really jittery because it needed a trans tune. The tune didn't take into account everything. It was over boosting the truck sometimes, and it wasn't taking into account the way the truck learns, so it would get really jittery, and the only way I could get it to work correctly was to basically reset the ECU learning on the truck. So it got very annoying running the Cobb tune. And I was also very disappointed that when they did add the trans tune capability, rather than have the ones that already were early adopters use it, they decided to charge us all an extra $400 just to get the trans tune. I'm not a big fan of that. It looked like a money grab to me for a tune that was already incomplete. Why would I invest more money in a company that I didn't really like their tune anyways, right? So we're not doing the Cobb tune. We are going to look at other options. We're also going to be looking at other custom mods. We're going to be looking at adding vapor canister skid plate. Now, this is something we did on the last truck. We actually damaged our vapor canister with the rock that got thrown into the back of the truck. The transfer case skid plate wasn't enough to protect the plastic vapor canister. So we're going to make sure that we get that protected. And we did that last time with the custom little plate. We're going to make a new one a little bit beefier than what we did last time, just to add that little extra bit of protection. All right, come on, let's get over here. We're also going to protect our shocks. Again, we're not going to be doing shock upgrades right off the bat. So this passenger side shock, we need to get a shield and we need to get a shock skid for it so that we don't damage it and lose it like we did our last shock. So again, that's another thing we're going to do to protect it. While we're back here, we are going to look at replacing the diff cover. We're going to replace that diff cover with the Banks diff cover when it comes out for the Ford trucks. Currently, it's not available, so we can't do it right off the bat. In our last truck, we had the Ford Performance diff cover. We really like that diff cover, but I want to try the Banks cover. I really like the design of the new Banks cover, so we're going to try it out as soon as it's available for the truck. We're going to do new stainless steel brake lines. This is something we have to do if we go with any long travel kit, so we're going to do that all the way around. We are going to replace these brakes. We are not doing R1 Concepts rotors and pads again. We went through them last time. The customer service was awful. I'm not doing the products ever again because of that. They had no problem lying to me. It took them 4 tries just to ship me the correct parts. I'm not dealing with that company ever again. I don't care how cheap they are. It's not a good product. The brake pads wore out really quick. The braking performance really didn't help the fading that much, so I'm not going with them. We are going to look at a few options for big brake kits. We don't know what yet, but the only one we've seen so far that's pretty good is the Alcon kit. So we are going to look at a couple options to do in brake kits up at the front. If you guys watch my videos long enough, you know how I feel about the BFG KO2s. They're great to start, but they're not good tires. The way I describe them is they're like Prius tires for the Raptor. Low resistance tires, these guys will get you very good fuel economy on the street. They give you decent grip on the dirt, but on a truck this big, the longevity sucks. You do get really low noise with them, which is kind of nice, but off-road, these things chunk really easy. I only got about 24,000 miles out of my first set with primarily going off-road. I'm not happy with that. I would rather have a much more grippier tire with better longevity. So we're going to look at going either back to our Nitto tires, Nitto RT tires that I love, or depending on what's available out there, we may end up going to something else. And we're definitely open to suggestions. So if you guys have a tire recommendation, let us know.
How many more upgrades do you have planned?
There's so much.
There's too much.
Now, we got a lot of plans for the bed of the truck. You guys remember we had that really cool wrap? You guys remember we had that really cool sports bar. We're not going to reinstall that back on the rails like we had before. The rails of this truck really can't handle all that weight. They're really weak. When we had the old rail system, they just fell apart. If we try to do like localized install, the actual rails started breaking. When we spread the load, the whole rails just started sandwiching, so they're not really strong enough. We're going to look at other options to mount this. I think the most logical way is to just integrate it as part of the RPG RST18 kit and have that welded on and basically be part partly connected to the frame rather than the rail. RPG guys don't know they're going to be helping us out with that, but we're going to be coming into them here in a couple of weeks with the rack and everything to look at options on how to get that done. And it's important to get that back on there because that's where our main off-road lights were, that's where our chase lights were. All of those are very important for us to be able to see it and for safety. We are looking at bed reinforcement to reinforce the rails here up at the front. We had a lot of movement, again, because of a rack and because of the way we were mobbing. I've seen a lot of kits that kind of go, just take care of one corner, basically doing triangle and triangle. I don't necessarily like that kit because of the way I saw my bed moving. So I want to look at something that goes end to end, that goes the triangles and goes end to end to keep that back end stable. We may have to go custom on that route. I also gonna need a way to hold my toolbox back here, so we may be doing some L-track or something back here to kind of better integrate that. We may even integrate it as part of the reinforcement. Whatever way, we need a way to carry all of our gear, so we need a way to carry our toolbox. And then lastly, I'd actually like to try out Built Industries bedside rack system. So we may be doing those in the back of the truck here for more storage capability and more gear carrying capability.
More money.
Lots of money.
How much money?
All right, let's go ahead and go inside. Inside, we got a lot of plans. Up at the front, we're going to be doing our Built Industries dash mount so that we can carry our iPad. I also need to make sure I have a way to see my cell phone, so we're going to be doing our Mob Armor cell phone mount. The next upgrade, if you've ever seen my videos, is probably one of the most important upgrades, and that is a radio. We're going to do a radio on the truck. This is a very important one. Before I ever hit the trails, I want to be able to stay in contact with my group. VHF radio will be very important, so be on the lookout for this video. We're going to be working on this today.
Is it lime green?
No, it's not lime green.
Bah.
My cable bag's lime green. We're also going to use Built Industries under seat storage system to replace our custom plate. We need a way to mount the radio back there. I want to have the radio in the back, easy to access, easy to maintenance, so we're going to install it back there. If you guys haven't seen that, go check out our video. We did a SEMA case on them. It's a really cool little product they introduced. We're also going to add L-track in the back. So see all that gear that we carry back there? I want to have ability to actually strap that down. So we're going to add some L-track back there behind the seats so that we can strap our gear down when nobody's sitting back there. That's a big one because our gear moves around a lot back there. And then lastly, we're going to put some dash cams in this thing. We need some dash cams in here. Something that actually works, that's not going to stop working when we need it. Like, this last accident, it would have been so great to have the footage so that we wouldn't have to wait months for a decision to be made as to who was at fault. So we're going to be searching some dash cams, finding some low cost and high dollar options. I'm going to go through that with you guys, and we're going to show you guys how to install those and hardwire them into your truck. It's actually really easy. You'd be surprised how easy it is, and anybody can do it. All right, guys, so as you can see, it's a pretty long list. Not sure if all of you guys made it to the end of the video, but we have a lot of plans for the truck, and we haven't even gone over the extra stuff like replacing the bumpers and that kind of stuff, right? We have so many plans for this thing, so many changes we got to make to get it ready for off-road, and we're not going to do it lime green. As much as you want, we're not doing it lime green. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. We've got a lot of content coming for you on the 2020 Raptor. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Hey guys, welcome back to Keep It Clean. All those things deleted. No, they're all deleted. No, they're all deleted.
Okay.
Raise it 2 feet.
Okay, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, hit the like, and we'll see you guys on the next video.
Keep it clean. Lime green.